I'm very excited tonight to start with Mark Lee. Mark has been helping to build the World Wide Web since the late 1990s. He'll cover the origins of the web, its early adoption and evolution, the current state of affairs, and where we may be heading in the future. So here is Mark Lee to present the history and future of the World Wide Web.
Thank you. How's that? Okay, give me 1 second. This doesn't count. This doesn't count as part of my time. Okay. Let's call that good. Is that good? Okay. All right. I'm ready. When I was a kid, my dad wanted me to be out doing wildlife photography with him and hunting and fishing. But where I really wanted to be was here, in the library, reading science fiction and dreaming about the technology of the future. 40 years later, I work on the web, which seems a lot to me like the library of the future from science fiction. Let's step back a few years. Before there was the web, there was the internet. In 1969, the first message was sent across ARPANET. The system crashed mid-message, an inauspicious sign. 2 decades later, Tim Berners-Lee, then a scientist at CERN in Switzerland, envisioned a global hyperlinked information system, a vast web of data where you could move instantly from place to place across the internet simply by clicking on hyperlinks. In January of '91, he launched the first public web servers. I imagine the web as an open platform that would allow everyone everywhere to share information, access opportunities, and collaborate across geographic and cultural boundaries, he said. Unfortunately, not everyone was impressed. In '92, the head of IT at CERN decided that the work on the web was, quote, a misallocation of CERN's IT resources. He soon thereafter left CERN and went to MIT, where he currently has an office in this building. If the web was a building, I think it would look an awful lot like this one. At this point, the web is still mostly the domain of universities and academics. In '93, CERN placed the World Wide Web into the public domain, donating it to the entire world in perpetuity. Shown here is Mosaic, the first widely available graphical browser, and it's not very graphical. Soon came commercialization. Pizza Hut's digital ordering page allegedly made the first ever online sale in '94, a large pepperoni mushroom and extra cheese pizza. There is, however, a much earlier story of a deal between Stanford and MIT students to buy weed via ARPANET. In the early years, there were manually curated directories of the web, sort of like a giant table of contents. That soon became unsustainable, and now we rely on complex and automated algorithms to help us find what we're looking for. In '99 to 2001 came the dot-com bubble and the ensuing crash. One example of this is the web portal InfoSpace, shown here on the left. In March of 2000, the company's stock price was $1,305. By June of '02, it had dropped to just $2.67. Eventually, Web 2.0 brought a backlash against the dot-com bubble and the commercialization, and the pendulum swung back to openness, user-created content, RSS, APIs, blogs, and tag clouds like you see here. Social networks soon evolved out of Web 2.0, kicking off a new boom of startups. Early pre-Facebook social networks like MySpace, GeoCities, and Blogger allowed you to have your own web presence and to customize your page to better suit your personality. This all changed with Facebook. Started at Harvard, it was originally only open to elite college kids. It's now known amongst the youth as the social network that my parents and grandparents use. Famous for moving fast and breaking things, including possibly our society. If you were looking for the signs, this may have been amongst the first. of how the internet may eventually replace television. Founded in 2005 by 3 early PayPal employees, YouTube is now the second most visited site on the web, second only to Google, who acquired it in 2006. Also in 2006, Twitter was created as a microblogging service and is now known as one of the premier sources for up-to-the-second breaking news and presidential proclamations. This image is appropriately known as the fail whale. Unsurprisingly, this uncontrolled global social experiment has had some nasty side effects. Filter bubbles is a term describing how the internet tends to give us what we want. Algorithms watch what you're interested in and give you more of that. Eventually, it leads to an echo chamber where you see only what you want to see. This, in turn, has made us susceptible to disinformation. This is the headquarters of the Internet Research Agency in St. Petersburg, Russia, where each morning 400 employees would log in, connect to a proxy to hide their IP addresses, and be given a list of messages and opinions they were to spread across the web that day. Privacy is another major concern. Edward Snowden has been called both a hero and a traitor. He stole and released documents related to the NSA collecting data on US citizens, saying, "I don't want to live in a world where everything I do and say is recorded." The digital divide. There's an increasing disparity between those who are web connected and those who aren't. Those who aren't have less access to social capital, economic capital, education, and sometimes even basic government services. It's not all doom and gloom. We do get to experience some pretty cool future technology, hearkening back to the sci-fi of my youth. NASA's Deep Space Network is an interplanetary internet. Wearable computers, Internet of Things, virtual reality, and augmented reality are coming to the web right now, as is voice-driven computing. So where do we go from here? Tim Berners-Lee in 2017 said, "I may have invented the web, but all of you have helped to create what it is today. It's taken all of us to build the web we have. And now it's up to all of us to build the web we want for everyone."